Welcome to our Candidates Forum for Troutdale Council, Position 1. This session will last approximately 45 minutes. I am your moderator, Dr. Deb Frick, with the League of Women Voters of Portland. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization that works to help citizens make informed decisions in elections. We do not endorse any candidate nor any political party, but rather we give voters the information they need to select a candidate. Membership information is available on our website and at the table at the back of the room. We thank the Multnomah Bar Foundation, the Sarah Fruing Fund, I've said this word too many times, Palama Clothing, and Neil Kelly for their generous contributions to our education fund to make these forums possible. Today's forum is being recorded by MetroEast Community Media. And please, media expert back there, cut my problems there, okay? And play back the ones I did well in the beginning. Thanks. Okay. I'm getting kind of tongue-tied. This forum will be available for on-demand viewing from a link on our website at lwvpdx.org. To view the forums on local access cable TV, see the playback schedule posted on our website and listed in your program. If you have not yet registered to vote, the last day to do so is October 14th. Contact your county elections office or register online at voteoregon.org. Ballots will be mailed beginning on October 15th. Okay, now to our forum. The League of Women Voters has invited all candidates running for Troutdale Council positions 1, 3, and 5. Present today and seated from the left in the order in which they appear on the ballot are candidates for Troutdale Council position 1, Josh Moriarty and David Ripma. I'll switch back and forth as I have been doing so that the same candidate is not always asked to be the first response. Timekeepers sitting in the front row back here will signal a 15-second warning when you've spoken for 60 seconds. You'll get a warning that you have 15 seconds left. So at the end, you'll get a warning, and then you'll get a stop sign. The stop sign says you have talked for 75 seconds, and your time has expired. And if you don't stop talking, we have a little bell that will ring, and I'll have to do something mean or something. Okay. But everybody has behaved so well this evening. We will begin with the candidates' opening statements. Candidates will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves and their platform. So I'd like to start with Josh.
Well, thank you. I almost feel like I'm at a City of Troutdale council meeting right now with all the councilors and folks from Troutdale here. So a little about myself and why I'm running for office. I grew up in Troutdale, and I lived in Troutdale most all my life. I worked for the City of Troutdale in the 80s and 90s. I owned a business in Troutdale for a short time. I'm currently a project manager with the Port of Portland, a key partner with the City of Troutdale. I've got a long history of volunteering in Troutdale and raising my family in Troutdale now. And in case you lost count, I think I said Troutdale about 17 times. My point is, I know Troutdale from a lot of different perspectives, and I'm excited about Troutdale's future. Metro's projected thousands of jobs coming to our little city. New businesses are going to be coming in above the airport in the Troutdale Industrial Park. And finally, after a decade of staring at a dilapidated area behind the outlet mall, it's finally starting to move forward to where we'll have new restaurants, hotel, and access to our beautiful Sandy River. The historic downtown is being cleared and ready for development. I'm excited we'll all have more local options to work, eat, live, and play. But I'm concerned that we might miss some of those new opportunities, or they'll be on hold for decades if we continue business as usual. I had 3 friends that wanted to start a business in Troutdale. They found the barrier so high that they ended up going outside of Troutdale's boundaries and now all have successful businesses. I've had friends who have done development in Troutdale and found it arduous and takes a long time. I sit on the Troutdale Budget Committee and I listen to our finance director every year say, our budget is not sustainable. If we continue with business as usual, a couple things could happen. Our taxes could go up or our quality of services could go down. If I'm elected, it won't be business as usual. As a project manager, I'm skilled at bringing diverse people together to bring ideas to life on schedule while managing taxpayers' dollars. I'll bring those skills to City Council, bring fresh ideas, new energy, not only listen to our concerns, but also take action.
Thank you. David, your turn.
All right, thank you. I'm Troutdale City Councilor David Ripma. I thank the League of Women Voters for this chance to address our citizens. I'm running for re-election because I believe my experience and independence is needed more than ever right now. I've volunteered for Troutdale for over 20 years on the council and various committees. I'm a patent lawyer and a small business owner. I'm president of the Troutdale Historical Society. I have always been a strong supporter of good economic, business, and job development in Troutdale. I supported formation of the Riverfront Renewal District, the Troutdale Enterprise Zone, all the downtown developments built or approved, Edgefield, its construction and expansion, and numerous other projects. I support the Troutdale Energy Center, the Riverfront Renewal Concept Plan by East Winds, which is under negotiation right now. Economic development is what pays the bills. We need it. I'm for it. Nevertheless, unlike my opponent in this race, I am not taking campaign donations from anyone with business before the city of Troutdale. Campaign filings with the Secretary of State show large donations have been made through associates to my opponent and Rich Allen's opponent from those currently in negotiation on major contracts with the city. Voters should check this for themselves and beware. This is an effort by people and interests who, in my opinion, already have too much influence over Troutdale's mayor and council. And now they are trying to unseat those councilors, including me, who are independent and ask the most questions. That would be bad for Troutdale. Citizens should not let it happen. Vote for an independent voice who represents the people. That's what Troutdale needs. Please re-elect Dave Ripma to the City Council.
Thank you. Okay, question 1. David, since you're warmed up, ready to go. What should the City Council be doing to increase transparency and public involvement?
Well, we are, I think, very transparent. Now, public involvement, we have several committees, Citizens Advisory Committee, Parks Advisory Committee that advise on specific issues. We also can send the Citizens Advisory Committee special tasks that are questions that have come before the council. All these meetings are open to the public, and I think Troutdale publishes a champion newspaper. Used to be the oldest in Multnomah County, the oldest newspaper by that name, and that informs the public all the time of what's going on. Our council meetings are, well, shall we say, lengthy and well attended, pretty well attended anyway, and we invite virtually always open comment on everything. I think Troutdale is a model, actually, of open involvement, and we should just keep up the good work.
Thank you. And how about you, Josh? What do you think?
So I happen to agree with Councilor Ripma. The city publishes newsletter, they publish meeting minutes, they publish audio to the council meetings. There are a lot of committees in Troutdale. People have the opportunity to come and see what's going on. As far as I know, I've not ever seen any of the councilors violating any quorum issues out in the public. I think the city does a fairly good job with transparency.
Okay. How could Troutdale best partner with the county and neighboring cities to maximize services to the residents, David?
Well, we already do partner. We and Fairview and Wood Village contract with Gresham for fire service. We cooperate with each other in backup for policing, ambulances, We are considering, there's a proposal before the council that's under review for even consolidating our police department with the sheriff, which is a county operation. I think our mayors meet regularly, the 4 East County cities, I'm thinking, and cooperate. There's a East Multnomah County Transportation Committee that's the county, Gresham, Fairview, Wood Village, and Troutdale. I served on it for 12 years. It helps coordinate transportation projects. I think we do a pretty good job coordinating and cooperating with our sister cities. And once again, I think we should keep up the good work.
Great. Josh, what's your take?
Well, as Dave said, we do contract out our fire services. There's discussions right now to contract out, of course, our police services and even our municipal courts with the county. I think there's a fine line for us to walk between gaining the best business benefit for our citizens on services and, frankly, giving up Troutdale, with ultimately more and more going to the county. So I would like to continue to see Troutdale work with the county with the continuing intergovernmental agreements that we have, but maintain our individuality as well. Thank you.
Okay. And I'm going to throw this one right back at you, Josh. I'll reword this. What should be the city's role in preparing available land for development?
Well, I think the city takes an active role, or should take an active role, when it comes to land use, our planning commission and zoning, to be sure that it meets the needs that we know are out there, and that it supports some of the more regional efforts in our urban growth boundaries. So I think there's a lot of activity that we can do to prepare that land and bring businesses in.
Okay. And David?
Well, if the question means preparing the land by cleaning it and grading it and making it, shovel ready, that the city's role is limited to city-owned property, like the urban renewal, riverfront renewal site, which was city property that's being developed. And the port does similar land cleanup for the property north of the freeway that has issues of brownfields, that the port deals with those. But as far as if the question referred to what can we do to promote development, I agree with my opponent that we need to have user-friendly rules for permitting development, and we should encourage good development. I've always been for that.
Great. Josh, it has been suggested that the city should contract with Multnomah County to provide police services. What's your opinion on this proposal?
So a couple things. First of all, if there's an emergency with my family, my friends, the citizens of Troutdale, all I care about is somebody shows up. Somebody shows up quick and has the skills to help out. That's the first and foremost thing in my mind. If we can have better service for lower costs, and they're saying that we could save $800,000, I don't know if I believe that, but if we could improve services for lower costs to citizens, then I think I'd be for it. I've talked with some of the police officers. I do know that for them, they'll have access to more training and resources than they have access to now. But at the same time, if things don't work out, I'd like to see the city have a backup plan for reinstating Troutdale Police Department if needed.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to fire on David now. Do you feel...
Well, did you want me to answer
Oh, I'm
that
so
one?
sorry. Yes. I was going to move to the next question.
I'm sure it's a good one,
Yes,
but I'll...
I apologize.
The sheriff's proposal to basically take over the Troutdale Police Department, it's the council's responsibility to make sure it's a good deal for Troutdale. If in fact it's going to provide the same level of service and save us up to $1 million a year, I don't see a how we could turn such a deal down. But I also think, I agree with my opponent, there's a fine line to giving up Troutdale as we lose things. Our Troutdale police, we're very proud of them. They're a part of our identity, and we don't want to give it up lightly. But if it's a good deal, I would be able to support it. I did serve, before I was on the council, way back when, on the Citizens Crime Commission, a countywide body, and police consolidation doesn't always work out as well as it's advertised. So we just need to be skeptical.
All right. Moving into the idea of consolidation, since I kind of stepped on your toes there, I'm sorry about this last question, but I'll give you the first response to this, David. Now, this is an audience question now. We're moving into the audience questions. Right. Would you consider the option sometime in the future of Troutdale, Fairview, and Wood Village consolidating? All fire services are already provided by Gresham, and Troutdale is currently in negotiations to join Wood Village in having law enforcement provided by the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. So the question again is, would you consider the option sometime in the future of consolidating Troutdale, Fairview, and Wood Village?
I've always felt that if the smaller cities, meaning Wood Village and Fairview, wanted to join Troutdale, that would be easier for me because we wouldn't be losing Troutdale. And that's, I would understand if the other cities weren't as enthusiastic about that. What I mean is, if they want to merge with Troutdale, we might consider it. But Troutdale is a very historic, a beautiful, prosperous, fun, active city, and I'm not saying Wood Village and Fairview aren't, but I don't want to lose what we've got. And if a smaller city proposes doing away with themselves and joining Troutdale, okay, I might consider it. But I wouldn't myself dream of asking them, because I think small government is best. And I think local government is the American ideal. And we have it here in our three cities. And I don't want to lose that.
Thank you. Josh?
So the question again is combining the entire cities, is that right? Not
Troutdale, Fairview, and Wood Village. Do you think that might be something?
As a child, I remember there was a distinction. You could tell the difference between Troutdale, Wood Village, Fairview. There were farms and fields in between. Today, you can't tell as much. I think it's a valid question to be asked. I think if you don't live around here, somebody might not know whether they're traveling from one city to the next. I want Troutdale to remain Troutdale. I think it would be something of consideration if we were in a point, or any of the cities for that matter, where our services were falling below substandard and we really had to combine and join forces to survive. That's when I would consider it.
Okay, so where do you see the city in 5 years?
Oh, as I said before, I see Troutdale about ready to go through a business boom. I see Troutdale doing fabulous things, and I could see why other cities might like to join us.
Okay. So. David, what do you think? Where do you see the city in 5 years?
Well, I mean, we have it all. It's beautiful, historic. We have a desirable location. We have great access to transportation, freeway, industrial land. We're about to embark on our riverfront renewal project. I mean, I think it'll be a lot better than the last 5 years, let's put it that way. And we've got a great future. Troutdale is projected to, in my mind, to become a gem. It is a gem, in my mind. It even was when it was kind of ramshackled because it had so much history and color and great people. But it's going to boom. And I think it's going to be great.
Thanks. Okay, now, David, the city of Troutdale needs a new city hall, okay, like the building we are sitting in here right now. Mm-hmm. Do you agree?
Well, I agree that we are in rented space that's temporary, and I think we need to, I voted, as the rest of the council did, to study the options, but I am president of the Troutdale Historical Society. I advocated strongly that the council add to the list of options going back to Old City Hall. We were told it was going to fall down by a building official who's now left. I believe firmly that it can be probably rebuilt. I mean, this needs to be proved for a fraction of what it would cost to build a new one. And it's basically a sound building. It's an old wooden building, but it could be brought up to ADA standards and codes. So I have to admit, my preference is going back to Old City Hall if it proves out. I think the other options we're looking at are worth looking at, but we're not going to be able to go to the voters for another bond measure. We just aren't. They're not going to, I don't believe they're going to go for it, and I wouldn't go for it.
Yeah, thank you. Josh, what do you think? Do you guys need a new city hall? And this audience person thinks that you do, but so do you agree with that?
I do think we need a new city hall. I mean, we're in rented space, and rented valuable space in the downtown retail area. I like the process that the mayor has set up. I attended the town hall meeting to talk about a new city hall and what people would like it to be. As a project manager, this is the type of thing I do all the time, where you start a process to find out what you need and then start to look at the options of what's available and what we can do. I'm not particularly in favor of one use or another. I do think that I was at City Hall working there in the 90s when it was renovated. It's been updated a few times, and less than a decade later, there's beams holding up City Council. So I kind of felt like that money didn't last very long. So I do have concerns about the cost of renovating that building. I do have concerns about citizens being able to access it because of the slope that it's on. It's not easy to get into out of your vehicle. So I'm glad we're looking at all options.
Thank you. Okay, let's continue to talk about money. Here's another question. Troutdale has been, I'm going to direct it to you, Josh, first. Troutdale has been routinely raising water, sewer, and storm rates annually. There is a current storm sewer rate cap equivalent to 6 residential units. This means a business with 20 impermeable acres pays the same rate as 6 residents. Is this fair to the homeowners of Troutdale?
If that's the case, I would say not. I mean, I know we pay it based on an impervious surface. And that I think that if that's the case, that's an example of inequity, along with plenty of others that I think are out there as well. I do believe we should all pay our fair share for the services that we receive. At the same time, I think I'll advocate for the city and the folks in the water and the sewer departments and go and let you know they do a lot with very little. I do believe that we all get pretty good value. I've seen studies relative to our rates and other cities' rates, and I'm really happy with what Troutdale's doing with what they get.
Thank you. David, what do you think?
Well, we do need to have rates sufficient to maintain the system, allow it to function and replace what wears out. It's a constant adjustment by the council for our, that's for the water and sewer rates. Now for the storm rates, how can you deny that it is unfair that we have a cap on the storm sewer rate, that someone with a couple of acres of impervious surface pays the same as 6 houses? It's not fair. However, we did consider looking at that at the council, and the sticker shock for a sewer bill that was going from $8 a month or something to like $12,000 a month for some of the users gave us pause. It's not an easy question, and it's going to have to be, we're going to have to fix it. That's all I can say. It's not. I agree it's not fair, but I think our rates generally are fair. That's the one that isn't.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Josh, I'm going to go over this direction. And we're going to get a little dicey. Okay, I've got some questions here that we're going to get some energy going. The question is, who contributed to your campaign? And this is for both of you, and why? And then on the heels of that is a tag, Josh. Someone wants to know about your funding contributor. I won't name him. You know, this is the question, though, is asking about this large contributor. And is this going to sway your interest to the city? So, in general, the question is, for both of you, who's contributing to your campaign? Why do you think they are? And how is that going to affect your good work for the city?
Right. So a few things here. First of all, I'm glad this question was asked because I think it's been an undercurrent, and it's actually, I consider it a little bit offensive, frankly. So let me tell you a little story. Again, I worked for the city of Troutdale in the 80s and 90s. When I left Troutdale, I was 25 years old, and my going away party was in the council chambers. And I remember vividly, I grabbed my piece of cake and I marched myself right up to the mayor's chair, and I sat down, and I gave a speech as if I was giving a State of the City address. And for the past 20 years, I've been interested, and people have been encouraging me to run for city council. And so the fact that anybody has got any influence over me or has put me in here to do somebody else's bidding is ludicrous, frankly. As far as my contributors, I think my contributors can all be summed up very clearly that they all have some relationship to Mr. Yoshida. And I will say that that doesn't influence me at all, now or in the future. And anybody else is more than welcome to donate to my campaign. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. David, what is your answer?
Well, as I said in my opening statement, I'm taking no donations from anybody with business before the city. So far, I've gotten $150 worth of donations. And frankly, they won't post them on the Orstar Secretary of State site until you reach 3,500. And I'm well below 1,000. I don't expect to get to 3,500. Josh has, just adding it up before I came here, has $4,150 in donations so far. And it's true they're all related to Yoshida. I think it's a pact that there will be expectations. Josh, I'm not questioning your honor, but there will be expectations, and perhaps there will be disappointments. I don't know. I'm asking the Troutdale voters to consider this carefully. There are business interests of Mr. Yoshida that already have great influence on the council. I'm not one of them. And that's why I'm seeking re-election, and I hope the voters will see it that way.
Okay, thank you. Okay, David, here's a question. Would you have supported, or did you support the city marijuana tax passed by the city council last week?
Yes, I did vote for it. We had a legal opinion that if we didn't, first of all, it's a long shot that it's going to be upheld because the measure 91, I think it is states that only the state can tax marijuana. But there was an opinion by many cities that it might possibly be upheld if it was enacted before the initiative was passed. So it was worth a try. I think we all had different reasons for it. One was that it would help recompense for the additional problems we're afraid are going to happen. So it's not a vote of support of marijuana, but we did it while we had the chance. If we didn't take the action that we did right when we did, we would forever lose our chance to pass it. We can always repeal it if it turns out to be a problem. So I did vote for it, and I'm glad we did, and it was unanimous. One councilor voted against it, but it did pass.
Thank you. Josh, if you'd been there, would you vote for it?
I was there.
Oh, you were there.
I was there that night. And yes, I would have, for the same reasons. There might be a cost to the city. I do understand, and there was testimony that explained it could be a long shot, but at least it was also a message. And I think it's become a consolidated message across a lot of cities, because Troutdale's not the only one that's done it. And almost a message to the state, really, as well, saying, you know, we have a right to this tax as well, and to be able to pay for the services that might need to, that might materialize because of opening up marijuana. So I agree to it. I would have voted yes as well.
And talking about things that may materialize soon, we have an audience question I'll throw to David first about the Troutdale urban renewal area. It's been going on since 2006. And what will you do to make it a reality? Do you believe that this can happen in the next year?
I doubt whether it'll get built in the next year. I can't help but remember Paul Tollifer was impatient. He was our former and much loved mayor at the time it was enacted, the urban renewal, and he was impatient that it was taking 4 or 5 months. And now what are we, 8 years later? But I am encouraged. I think we have an excellent concept plan. And East Winds, which is an owner of a piece of the urban renewal site, has the motive, the ability, the skill, and the resources to make it happen together with the city. So I am very optimistic that it will happen, and if it's built the way the concept plan was adopted by the city, it will be a great asset to Troutdale. Public access, lots of amenities. It will be a real boon to Troutdale. So yes, I'm very positive about it. But I don't know about 1 year. That might be a little optimistic.
Okay. Josh, what would you do to make this thing a reality? And do you think it could happen in the next year or so?
I doubt it will happen in the next year. I'm sure we'll see activity, is what I would be willing to bet on, but not built out as far as all the retail and spaces and things like that. And really, this goes back long before 2006. Voters approved moving the treatment plant, I think in 97 or 99, and since 2001, that area has been vacated. So I'm excited to see what happens there. I would encourage everybody to go back and look at what the voters approved for that urban renewal area and what the voters were promised would be there, and to keep a watch that that's what's going to turn out.
Hey, thank you. Okay. David, what should be the city's top social services priority?
Well, social services like aid to the homeless and food bank type things is what I'm thinking of. Maybe that's not what's meant.
I think that's kind of where this question was.
All right. Our citizens pay Multnomah County taxes for those services, and Multnomah County provides those very important services to our citizens. And I think it's a valuable service. We actually pay, I think, all of us pay more Multnomah County taxes than our city taxes, and I expect the county to handle that. The city is, even Portland, all cities in Multnomah County rely on the county for those services, and the city takes care of more infrastructure, planning, that sort of thing.
Okay. Josh?
Yeah, I agree that a lot of that is at the county level. I do like what I see the city doing most years, if not every year as I can think of, to aid in that, which is putting out the barrels at City Hall for snow cap and collecting food and delivering it. So in a very small way, I think the city still tries to help out our community and support those social services out there. I also see, this doesn't fall under food bank and some of those things as social services, but our recreation program, I really see that as a social service that we provide. We have an excellent program. It started back when I worked at the city of Troutdale. My kids have gone through it. My wife and I have taken some classes there. I think it's a wonderful thing that really adds to the value of our city.
Great. And what, Josh, do you think the city can do, if anything, to reduce unemployment?
I think, again, business boom's coming, and I believe that the city, even right now, say with the urban renewal area and the riverfront area, is working with East Wind Development to get that development going and bring in those jobs. So I do think there's an opportunity for the city to continue to partner with businesses. Land is available. Land is getting tight. People are coming to Troutdale, and I think the city can do a lot to usher those in, which would help with unemployment.
Thank you. David, what do you think?
Well, yes, I agree. I mean, we should continue to try to attract good business, commercial, jobs development, housing that will provide jobs. It's been slow these last few years, and we are poised to take off. And I think probably the kickoff will be the start of the Riverfront Renewal Project. But we also have a very exciting project downtown starting, and housing's beginning to pick up. So I think the city should continue to encourage development the way we're doing.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to conclude with our 1-minute closing statements. And so I'm going to ask David to begin.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank again the League of Women Voters for this chance to address our citizens. My priorities are public safety first, regardless of whether we merge with the sheriff. Keep our livability and our quality of life. Don't try to build or lease a new city hall if the old one can be fixed. Economic development. And please, Troutdale voters, I hope you'll go to the Secretary of State's website and check the campaign finance records. Over $9,000 has been donated already to finance my opponents and Rich Allen's opponents' campaigns. And to me, it looks like an attempt to influence more of Troutdale's elected officials. Don't let it happen. I represent the people. I always have. I want Troutdale to continue to be the peaceful, safe, fun, historic city we all love. And I ask for your vote. Please re-elect David Ripma to the Troutdale City Council.
Thank you. Josh.
Look, folks, I'm out in our community every week. You'll see me at First Friday, walking my dog around town, at Reynolds football games, other events. You'll see me at summer fence, cruise-ins, marathons, at the Christmas lighting, and when it's time to get down to business, you'll see me at town hall meetings, council meetings, and budget meetings. And when you see me, you can stop me and we can talk Troutdale all day long so that I can go back and represent your voice. I've been working and volunteering in our community for over 30 years. I'm involved because I care about our friends, my family, our community. And you know what? I'm going to stay engaged for the next 30 years. I care about Troutdale's future. We have exciting new opportunities in front of us that I believe are going to improve our quality of life, but we can't continue with business as usual. I'll bring fresh ideas, new energy, and represent your vision for Troutdale while closely managing tax dollars like I do every day at work. I'm asking for your support. Please visit my website, show your support, and tell your friends, vote Moriarty. Thank you.
Thank you. This concludes the League of Women Voters Forum on Troutdale Council Position 1. We thank each of the candidates for participating in our forum, and we also thank our wonderful timekeepers and the other League volunteers for a great job. Please check out our website at lwvpdx.org, and the rest of our statements can be found in the previous taped version, so I'm not going to go through that with everybody. Thank you, Media East. You are awesome. Let's give our candidates a round of applause, and also our community television, Media East. They really have done an excellent job. And also to the Portland League. They really need a big round of applause. This is a lot of work. Thank you. And thank you to James for organizing this event. Thank you.